As drummers, our ability to play along with any kind of electronic time reference machine thingy or whatever, it's just part of the job, man. I mean, we have to know how to play with metronomes, click tracks, backing tracks, loops, whatever. But today we're gonna talk about click tracks, and it's just a question, man. It's just a question I'm gonna throw out to you. It's another one of those little discussions. But do you like them? Do you like using click tracks on stage? Do you have any particular opinion on using click tracks on stage or in church or whatever? It's always an interesting topic, so I just thought I would throw that out there. And I'm just gonna give you my 2 cents, man. I'm gonna give you arguments on both sides and let you know what I think on the whole subject. Now, playing with a metronome and playing with a click track, I think are two separate things, and it all depends on the usage. It's kind of like two different entities of the same thing. So when we're playing with metronomes, there's a different purpose when you're using it as a metronome at home. When we use it that way, we're using it to, work on our rudiments or develop some kind of skill on the kit or develop our timing skills, whatever. That's one thing. As a click track, it's got a different purpose. On stage, it's used as a time reference to sort of, keep the bus between the lines. So I just wanted to separate the two. They're both still this, right? But one's a metronome and one's a click track. So today we're talking more on the performance aspect of it. So let me just cut straight to the chase, man. I hate them. Now, I do have valid arguments why I hate them, but at the same time, I get them, and I'm going to present those as well. Now, there are absolutely valid reasons for using clicks on stage. They do serve a purpose, and in a lot of situations, they're kind of necessary. So when you're talking about situations where it's like you're doing a theater show, it's like pit work or something like that, or you're doing some kind of stage production that involves dancers, that's another thing. Anything where there's a lot of stuff going on, that's the kind of situation where a click track is necessary. Another situation is if you're performing to video. So if there's like synced video that you're playing along with, sometimes during a lot of productions we do that at our church. Being able to play with a click is necessary because there's going to be words up on the screen and everything needs to line up. So when you're on verse 2 shows up on the screen. So in those situations, our front of house guy is starting the click, which is synced up with the video, and then we all get it fed to our ears. And then, we play the tune and everything's fine and it looks great with the video and all that's cool. If you're in a stage situation where there's a large ensemble, you got horns and whatever else going on the stage, 12, 15 people, and you just want to keep everything in line, everything will be clicked. I get that. But in a regular band performance situation, where you're up there with a group of people and you're playing for an audience, I friggin' hate it. And here's why. Now, it's not because I'm uncomfortable or unable to play along with a click track. I mean, come on, man. I'm Beat Down Brown. I mean, I can play circles and trapezoids around a click. For me, it's all about the human element to live music. Now, I'm probably what you might consider an OG in the game. I'm not going to tell you how old I am because I ain't important right now. But I'm from a different camp, man. I'm from the time when having really good timing was just part of the job. It was part of the game. There was no escaping it. You didn't have a choice but to have good internal meter. There was a time not too long ago right? I'm not talking about the olden days with black and white TVs and all that kind of stuff. But there was a time where bands would just get up on stage, count or tune off, and just play. And when you saw a live band perform a song that was on their record, almost 100% of the time, it was a little bit faster than it was on the album. And guess what? Nobody cared. The funny thing about click tracks and band performances is that this sort of quest for perfection that everybody's after, the only people that care are the people on the stage. The audience could give a crap if the song that you're playing is 3 BPM faster than it is on the album, or 2 BPM slower, or whatever. They don't care. There's a strong human element to playing music with a group of people in a room or on stage or whatever. There's a whole interaction thing going on there. There's a lot of emotion involved. And sometimes having this stuck in your ear is just super annoying. It just kills the vibe for me sometimes. Music is a living and breathing thing. Like it should be allowed to move, right? If you think about your heart rate, right? When you get excited, your heart rate speeds up. And when you're relaxed and things are nice and chill, your heartbeat kind of slows down and settles a little bit. So when you're watching a live band, like say Dave Matthews Band or something, who, by the way, I'm almost 100% sure don't use a click and could care less about using one. But when you see a band like that live and they go off into some instrumental tangent at the end of some song and things really start to amp up and the tempo speeds up and everything, you think anybody in the audience gives a crap that that's happening? No, they're too busy enjoying what they're seeing. It's exciting to watch a band go off in another direction. And it's exciting for us as musicians to be able to get excited and move along with whatever feeling is going on the stage. So there's nothing worse than, being in a certain part of the song and things are getting nice and exciting and everything, and you want to step on the gas, but you can't because of this. I think in a lot of ways, click tracks have sort of, not really eliminated, but they at least sort of reduce the need for musicians to develop really good internal timing. There's a certain dependency on, sort of electronic time reference that just kind of made some musicians lazy. I mean, there's plenty of not just drummers, but musicians in general. They'll play fine to a click. You take it away and their timing completely sucks. And it's to the point now where some musicians can't even start playing until somebody tells them what the tempo is and gives them a reference. And that used to be something that you just had to know how to do. So that's my biggest gripe about click tracks, and that's like the main reason why I can't stand them, and particularly in just regular live band performance situations. Because again, there's this unnecessary pressure that we put on ourselves to make sure that the BPM is perfect from start to finish. And it's just not, like, nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. Now, as far as churches go, like, I understand the whole need for wanting to use a click on the stage, because typically in a lot of churches you got weaker musicians, and it just kind of helps them. It helps them along with, just keeping everything nice and in time and stuff. But my argument to that is that it's cool that you want to do that, and I get it, but you're not giving your weaker musicians any incentive to work on their internal clock if they know this is going to be there for them every single week. Sometimes you have to put people in uncomfortable situations so they can step their game up. One of the best bands I've ever witnessed up close is the Zac Brown Band. If you've never seen the Zac Brown Band live, you can search a couple videos after this and check them out if you want to. But there's easily like 10 of them up there. And I had the opportunity to talk to Chris Fryer one time backstage, and I was just asking him. I just asked him straight out, hey, do you guys use a click on stage or anything like that? He's like, no, we don't worry about that stuff. You'd never know it to listen to him because everybody up there sounds friggin' immaculate. And you can see the freedom that's happening up there when you watch them. The interaction between all the guys, the musicianship, like everything is just crazy. And it's just that much more fun to witness. But like I said before, man, that used to be how it was done. Bands would just get up on stage, rock entire stadiums without the aid of a click or a backing track or whatever. So like I said, man, I'm an OG. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was learning how to play, it was just the order of the day. I just considered it part of the job to be able to remember tempos and keep steady tempos from one end to the other, or at least follow the emotion, follow the dynamics, whatever. Now, should you be comfortable playing with a metronome? Absolutely. It's just something that you have to know how to do, because if you're ever going to record an album or a song or something, you're going to track drums for somebody, you got to be able to follow that metronome. It has to be as natural as playing without one. But I'm still sort of longing for the days when bands can perform without the aid of a click, and they just get up there and just enjoy being free musicians. Now, this is probably going to ruffle a few feathers. I get that. Not everybody shares the same opinions as I do. I mean, to be fair, like almost every single band that you see these days on stage, playing to a click, playing to a backing track, they're playing to something. And the bands sound killer and everything's fine. But there's a difference, man. There is a difference. So I'm curious, man. I'm curious to know what you think. Drop a comment below. Let's start up a little conversation here. And let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are on playing with a click track on stage. If you've done it before, if you have to do it, if you're nervous about doing it, whatever. This is the topic of the day. And chime in. So thanks for watching this video. If during this entire little rant of mine, you were fixated on this shirt, this is one of the newest ones in the shop. This is my established 2005 Rob Brown on drums. That's kind of where the whole thing started for me. I got a few new shirts in the shop around this theme. This is one of the first ones. Go ahead and check it out. Link will be in the description box. New viewers, new subscribers, welcome to the channel. Make sure you go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. Drop a comment before you leave. Like, subscribe. See you next video.